Have you ever wondered if you could get paid just to do your hobby? I know I certainly have. This week, the GovClose team found 5 hobbies that the U.S. government spends millions of dollars on every year, awarding contracts to small businesses and companies of all sizes. Most people can't believe that the U.S. government makes purchases in these areas. Now, make sure you stick around for the last one because it's going to knock your socks off. But first, let's talk about what a hobby actually is. A hobby is an activity that they say we do for fun in our free time. It's something you enjoy. It's something that you don't get paid to do it. A lot of people get lost in a hobby. Drawing could be a hobby, playing a sport, or my favorite hobby, playing the guitar. Now, the first hobby on our list that the U.S. federal government spends money on is a 5,000-year-old practice that traces back to India. It first showed up in the United States in 1893. Can you guess what it is? Well, if you guessed yoga, then you're right. By the way, if you know who introduced it to the United States, at the Art Institute of Chicago, drop the name of that person in the comments and you'll be entered to receive our government contract planner at no cost. Now, if you're surprised to learn that the U.S. government spends $20 to $40 million a year on yoga classes and training and related services, then you wouldn't be alone. You know, most people just don't realize that the U.S. government literally buys almost everything that you could think of. After all, they are the single biggest purchaser of goods and services in the world. Now, in the case of yoga, this is a practice increasing in demand across the United States. This includes military veterans and federal workers. Yoga can be used for exercise and meditation. It can be a part of employee wellness programs or veteran rehabilitation. You can find small business contract opportunities for yoga instruction, wellness services on SAM.gov. You can check that out for yourself. You can also look at some of the videos that we have on the GovClose YouTube channel if you need help with searches on SAM.gov. But yoga is not for everyone. Our second hobby is for those interested in something faster and louder. Now, if you guess that the U.S. federal government will pay you to listen to Metallica, then you're unfortunately wrong. In fact, that's a contract I would go after. But the U.S. government will not pay you to listen to Metallica that I know of. But last year, they did spend $70 million on contracts for ATVs and four-wheelers and related off-roading expenditures. There's a lot of reasons the U.S. government trains individuals to use these types of vehicles. And this is a hobby many people enjoy. They like to get on that four-wheeler and hit the trails. I know I used to hit the dunes in Saudi Arabia on a four-wheeler back when I was in the military. The U.S. military works in environments like the desert, mountains, Arctic, wilderness areas. The Department of Transportation spent $44.5 million over the past 3 years on this type of training. Department of War came in right after them at $22 million. Now, what state do you think this work, this training, these off-road purchases primarily took place in? Leave that in the comments if you could guess the state. But not all of us love getting on a four-wheeler and hitting the trails. There are some nerds out there that just want to be hooked up to a computer and a 3D printing machine. And that's hobby number 3. 3D printing creates objects layer by layer from digital models. It's a popular hobby and people use it to create everything from custom figurines to household tools, even drones and parts of aircraft. Now, the U.S. government spends $200 million-ish annually on related 3D printing contracts. I want you to keep in mind, this is just what I saw from a quick keyword search on SAM.gov. There is certainly more money being spent each year, part of larger contracts where 3D printing isn't specifically named and what we see on USA Spending. But this is just to give you the gist of what the government's spending after a quick look. When we look at the 3D printing contracts that pop up immediately, we could see medical device prototyping, bioprinting research, custom prosthetics, rapid prototyping for defense applications. Now, if you're interested in 3D printing government contracts, you don't have to take my word on it, and you shouldn't. Go to usaspending.gov yourself. Put some time into the research. Understand who in the government is making these purchases and how they're making them before you commit your time and resources to going after these contracts yourself. Now, hobby number 4 is something I wish I was better at: learning a foreign language. I've personally lived in countries like Greece and Saudi Arabia and only managed to pick up a few words. But some people study languages as a hobby. Spanish, French, Mandarin, Arabic, It opens up new cultures and makes travel more meaningful. Honestly, it just makes you feel smarter. Even being able to swear in Greek made me a little bit more acceptable to the culture there and the people there, but that's neither here nor there. The U.S. government spent $372 million in 2025 on translation and interpretation services. Now, this is a surprise to some because we have excellent translation tools today, especially with the advent of AI. Now, even though I see a declining spending trend year over year when I looked up these type of services, there's certainly still contract opportunities for language experts with the right credentials. Now, let me break down who in the government spending money over the past 3 years on this. You have the Department of Justice at $531 million, the Department of War, $248 million, and Department of State, $176 million. That's just the top three. Now, what are they buying? They're buying telephonic interpretation for federal courts, video interpretation services for remote proceedings, regional linguists for overseas operations, translation and transcription services. Drop your language in the comments and let me know which languages do you think are highest in demand from the U.S. government? Which ones are going to drive those big contract values? Now, you can go to SAM.gov and search for your foreign language, or you could search for interpretation contracts. See what agencies are buying. Look at the contract values. Then you can check SAM.gov for active solicitations. And here's a hint, if you've seen any of my videos. Look for sources sought first, instead of a request for a proposal. Then you can email the contracting team with any questions you have, learn a little bit more about it before you go and commit to writing a proposal. Now, you want to do your research before you commit to any government contracting path, and the amount of effort it takes can be substantial. Now, a few weeks ago, my wife came downstairs with our children while I was working, and in her arms was a big surprise. It was an English bulldog puppy, which we affectionately call Potato. So now we're a two-dog family. And as much as I love these dogs, they are barely trained. This is my not-so-subtle transition to hobby number 5. Hobby number 5, dog training. Number 5 is something that literally millions of Americans do. Whether it's teaching your dog to sit and stay, or training for agility competitions, or working with specific breeds, there's a massive community around this. Now, the federal government spends $500 to $600 million a year on canine training services. Let me say that again. $500 million to $600 million a year. Now, over the past 3 years, I'm going to break down who has been spending the money. Try to guess what they're actually training these dogs to do. You have the National Institute of Health, $767 million over the past 3-4 years. Federal Highway Administration, $137 million. Department of State, $103 million. Here's some more. U.S. Army, $51.2 million. Navy, $52 million. Coast Guard, $46.5 million. National Park Service, $57.7 million. What are they buying? Well, here's some of the things when we look through the contracts that they're actually spending the money on. Explosive detection canine teams, patrol dog training, military working dog programs, handler training, sustainment and kennel operations, even grooming services for working dogs and veterinarian support. This list goes on, but I want you to think about it. Whether it's the Border Patrol or TSA, they need dogs trained for very specific tasks. These aren't optional programs, right? These are mission critical security operations that they're performing, and the dogs in some cases are a big part of that. Now, a lot of prime contractors who win big contracts subcontract that work out. So don't overlook subcontracting if you're looking at government contracting initially. In fact, it's how a lot of people get their foot in the door for the first time. So what does all of this mean? 5 hobbies, yoga, $20 to $40 million a year. ATVs and off-roading, $70 million a year. 3D printing, $200 million a year. Foreign languages, $438 million a year. And dog training at $600-ish million a year. These fluctuate, usually goes up, except for translation services. Hey, here's what I want you to think about. The government buys everything, and I mean everything. These 5 hobbies aren't special cases. They're just examples of how broad federal procurement really is. So if you've got an expertise in something, whether it's a hobby you're passionate about or a professional experience you've built over the years, there's probably a government market for it. So don't take my word for it, and don't take anybody else's. You have to put the time in to understand the market yourself. Federal contracting is different from commercial sales. There's registration requirements. There's proposal formats that the agency expects. There's evaluation criteria that you need to understand, including past performance. Sometimes you need security clearances. This is a different system. It's a learnable system, but it is different and it takes time. This is all what we teach at GovClose. So if you want help, you can check out the GovClose certification and training program. You can go to govclose.com. We show you how to find these opportunities. We can match your specific expertise, how to position yourself competitively, and how to write proposals. that actually win these contracts. And we focus a lot on past performance, whether you have a company or not. So you have to have a company to sell to the government. There's 3 main revenue streams you can earn with government contracting expertise. You can sell to the government, you can work as a consultant helping companies sell to the government, or you can get a job working for companies. These are very high-paid jobs. So whether you're a veteran, a former federal employee, current government employee, or maybe neither of those, you're working on your second career, or you just graduated from college and you're looking to learn an expertise that will drive an income for you, check out govclose.com, and the link is in the description. So whether you work with us or not, opportunities there. The government buys almost everything. You just need to know where to look, where to put your time in, and how to execute a step-by-step plan consistently. Check out the next video that shows the GovClose process for winning government contracts.